Hey everybody, it's Chanthamontry backing in with Opus Gaming, and I'm here today with another Gencon online deck profile. This time we have a top 8 performance from my friend Yejay, who was able to pilot Blue Flare to a really far placing. So how was the Ultimate Club, Yejay?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
Nice.
it felt a bit surreal going so deep into it.
No, for sure. And it was an interesting event, right? Because they changed the Ultimate Cup rules, is that correct?
I think yeah, they had some different restrictions, and we only had 6 rounds.
Okay. Nice. How was the event for you kind of overall? How did you place?
I got to sixth place. I lost at the second to last round, and then won the last round. Yeah,
Nice.
won all the rest.
No, for sure. We won't do too much diving into like the meta and stuff like that. We'll talk about that at the very end. We'll talk a little bit about your matchups and stuff. But what we can do now is just kind of jump into your deck profile if you're ready.
All right. So for the egg, it's pretty simple. Wanyamon. It's a draw one when you have a team and one attacking. It's just a staple
Mm-hmm.
blue egg for blue flare. It, you just get the draw most of the time. And in the later on when we talk about the matches a bit, it did come up where it was actually a nuisance later on.
Okay. And did you go with picking a draw one egg just for your only egg choice? I've seen a lot of people kind of playing 5 eggs in the current format. Do you feel like just going for just having the draw was the most consistent egg for you, or what was the reasoning behind the choice?
Yeah, I think just having these 4 eggs were pretty simple. I was thinking about maybe running a fifth Upamon, but I always kind of felt like if you get to the fifth egg, then the game probably doesn't matter at all. So that
No, that's totally fair. Okay.
right, and then the first record we have is the 4 Gaussmons, the BT10 one. It's just have it die and then get your spinal level 4 suspended, get your arm plays. And sometimes when it doesn't die, it's a sticky body that your opponent usually doesn't really want to remove.
No, for sure, because it'll float into something else. That's cool.
Yep, so this is usually how you either get free switches or free recycling.
Okay.
The other rookie I was playing was the other Gaussman from EX4.
Mm-hmm.
So, not some people don't know this, but when you hard play it, but then you actually draw a card,
Yeah.
uh,
No,
truly
that's
counts
something.
itself.
Yeah, that's something I learned pretty late when I was first reading the card. Yeah, I assumed it was the same thing where you would only get it from like the other effects. But yeah, no, even when you play himself, you get to draw. Did you say that that was your only other rookie in the deck?
Yeah, I was only running 8 each one.
How was running 8 rookies for your deck?
It was pretty good. Most of the time I found them. If I missed them one turn, I could just probably search them out the next turn or so.
Okay, nice.
The other egg I was thinking about was Jacomon or probably just some staple floodgates, but we can talk about that a bit later.
No worries.
Um, the his second effect when you play a Twilight, yeah, you get to recycle bring back a Digimon with cross requirements. Came up like maybe one time, and that's
Oh,
about it.
really? That's funny.
All right. Now for the level fours, we just have 4 of the BT10 Greymon. It's probably like the best searcher. Yeah, lets you also recycle Greymon and can give swing unsuspended if they have 2 guys on the field,
Hmm.
which is probably like the most threatening thing about Blue Flare is swinging twice with your meta Greymons.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I totally agree. When your opponent's swinging at you and getting that unsuspend, it does feel very strong.
Yeah, so people are always afraid of it, and other than that, yeah, it's just pretty decent. Sometimes it's a turn one play, but you
Definitely.
you prefer just to get it off the Gauss.
Okay.
Next, we have 2 of the new Greymon from EX4. So the on play is slightly worse than the old Greymon. It lets you fill up your trash, but then usually you prefer the searching to grab 2.
I can see that, definitely.
The handle is actually really decent to draw 1 because about 80% of the time you're probably not gonna get this off unless you're ending the game,
Hmm.
and people are just too afraid to have 2 bodies on the board, so it's generally a free draw 1 most of the time.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you do have to have some effects in your deck that aren't just centered around your opponent having two cards on the field.
And then the next level 4 we have is just 3 of the old male Digimon to stun something if they have two Digimon on the field to a Moy and on attack. And then on play, you can play the carrier high if you don't have one, or recycle the Metal Gray if you do.
Nice. Okay.
So this one, I kind of enjoy the on play more than the. We can go to the next one really quick. The other male Digimon, it has a really great inheritable for jamming. And on play, you give Ice Wall effect to one of your opponent's Digimon.
Yep.
On all these have save, but this on play, it doesn't really matter that much because either they don't have the one you're given the ice wall effect is usually stunned, or the swinging really doesn't matter
Okay.
sometimes.
So you just prefer
The
the.
hittable. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. So that's why you prefer the first one. But what were you saying? The inheritable.
Yeah, I prefer the first one more because recycling the Metal Greymon is actually really great and a setup for next turn and such. This on play, it never really came up that often, and I don't think it actually came up during the tournament. Actually,
Oh, okay.
the jamming is really great to get guaranteed surviving swings, but sometimes you actually don't want your Greymon to survive because then your sources get stuck under and you can't go to your next Metal Greymon.
Oh, I've never thought about it like that. That's a very good point.
Next level 4 we have 3 Deca Dramons. It's a really good draw engine.
Yeah.
It's probably like the second best thing to play off of the Gaussman. Just get either one draw or more draws.
Yeah. Every time
Uh,
when I'm playing Blue
go
Mord,
ahead.
every time that card comes out, I just get so just scared because they just plus so many cards to hand. So.
Yeah, it's a huge boost, and sometimes you just hard drop it for 5.
Hmm. Okay.
More importantly, when you play it off the Gaussman, it lets you set up to your Decadramon by just hard evolving on top of it instead.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. That's a fair point.
Yep. So I run 3 because it lets you. When we get to the one of the level 5s, I'll talk a bit more about it.
Okay.
The main level 5 is just BT10 Metal Greymon. It lets you stun something with equal less choices and can Digicross up to 3. It's the primary one you want to be running because it's high DP and stunning. Yeah, this is what people are mostly afraid of from the deck.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely what the deck is most known for.
Yep. Sometimes it gets a bit awkward because it can just have just more than 2 choices, and then it's kind of hard to stun.
Yeah.
Next, I have 3 of the new Metal Greymons. On play, you strip choices instead of stunning. You get to strip 2 choices.
Mm-hmm.
This one I actually do really like because then what often comes up is when opponents Digimon have more than 2 choices, you want to be playing this one, and then you want to set up to play the next one on the same turn.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Okay.
Also, like you kind of want to save these when you really feel like they're necessary, because as one game I misplayed by accidentally using these as choices when I shouldn't have.
Yeah, you should have just kept them for their actual effects. What matchups do
Yep,
you think that card is like most effective in?
I think I don't know. This is generally good in. I think this is a generally good
Okay.
card in throughout most of all the matchups I played.
Yeah, that makes sense too, for sure. Just stripping sources is always going to be consistent. So.
Yep, and then you get to snipe. You get to pick the choices so you can stop memory gain or stop draws and such.
For sure.
And then yeah, this I think this card was the card that actually carried me the most, which is Decadramon and Decagreymon.
Hmm. Why do you feel like it carried you the most?
Because people always play around having 2 bodies on the board, but having one body on the board, they always have to. That's part of Digimon. You always have to commit a body onto the board in most games, and getting stunned by this is yeah. There's no way to play around getting stunned by Deca Greymon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you can't just play around it. So.
And then not only is he pretty good for just evolving and getting his stun off, but he's actually a really good Digicross card now that you have access to the trash.
Hmm.
So one game I actually won really. One game I got carried by him because my opponent swung into Decadramon in my security, and then I could just reuse the Decadramon.
Yep. Oh, nice. That is actually pretty funny. So they swung on their turn, so you were able to end them on your next turn coming up.
Yeah, so because I was missing the Decadramon in my hand, so it gave me the extra resource to actually just keep on stunning with Decagreymon.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the next one I have is two Metal Greymon Cyber Launchers. On Evolve, you can do bottom deck at level 3. If you put another Cyber Launcher under, you get a bottom deck at level 4 also, and then it can be a Metal Greymon or a Cyberdramon.
Hmm. How was cyber how was that mode for you in the tournament? I know that that's been a big contention point if you're playing like one cyber launcher or two cyber launcher. But did you like it at two?
I think I did like it at 2. Initially, when I was playtesting, I was running 3 Cyber Launchers and only 2 of the new Metal Greys.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think playtesting, these matter more for the swings, and this is a weird control card. I expected a lot more floodgates and rookies and people to play small stuff on the board, but I think I only got to bottom deck one Digimon in the whole tournament,
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
it never I never got to do the do bottom deck level 4.
That's actually really interesting. So if we'll talk about it at the end if you would change the slot at all or anything. But okay.
Yep. Another important thing is it can count as Metal Greymon, so this actually is like probably like the best source to use as Metal Greymon for your Deca or to itself. So then you can use it from your trash to get a layered body on the board. That's really hard to deal with.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good play actually.
Yep. So you prefer to use this as Metal Greymon rather than any of these.
I gotcha.
Next we have two Z Greymons. It's a game. It's an extra swing if they have 2 bodies on the board. It's also a unsuspend for 2.
Mm-hmm.
It also gives blocker. The the times I actually used it, it would usually just end the game or get extra swing. The blocking part never really came up during the games.
Yeah, I can believe that. Being in a more aggressive deck, in blue, I can see you being the aggressor in a lot of matchups for sure.
Yep. Also, I think as a blocker, making you guys into a blocker is nice, but most of the stuff is susceptible to the meta, so it gets you think usually it's a rare case where it actually gets a chance to block.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and then we have for the Kira Nene cost 4 if you have 2 guys. If there's 2 guys on the field at the start of your main, you get a memory,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can use it to use one from choice and one from trash.
Nice.
So yeah, this is probably like the best tamer for the deck because then you can just if you get 2 of these on the board, you can start uh, cycling your trash really efficiently, and just perma stunning with the Decker or the Metal Grays.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to ask you if you felt like that was the stronger tamer between the two of them. So you like the Kyrian and Nene quite a bit.
Yep. And then it gets treated as Kira also to get searched out.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then the memory game was pretty nice because it lets you also set up for 2 double Metal Grays or lets you play out another tamer and keep it in your turn.
Yeah.
Next, we just have 2 of the memory set of Kiriha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Playing six of the tamers seems to be like the ideal ratio.
yep. The this one, it actually I don't really feel like the suspending to use sources under came up that often. It's more so the memory gain to set up 2 bigger turns was really important.
Okay. Did you ever
Next, we have.
did you ever have
Go
like
ahead.
both of them set up where you like gain access to certain plays because you're setting up and starting at like 4 or 5 memory? Or are there any like important combos by using both tamers, or are they just kind of in there to make to be diverse depending on what matchup you're in?
The most important combo is getting to 4 memory because getting to 4 memory lets you either play a second Kira and Nene keeping your turn, Or if you have a blazing, you can go to 6 and then go to a double metal grade combo.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Comboing it with blazing.
Right, and then speaking about blazing, we have 4 blazing. It's probably like the best unbricking card in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you always want to see a turn 1 or turn 2. It always uh, every time you see it and you have a tamer in your hand, I felt like you just want to believe in the blazing rather than playing the tamer.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, I like that too. I think that it gets you set up, and picking up two monsters is good. So.
Yep, and then you can. Sometimes it feels a bit awkward because the main contention I had about using these was if I wanted to use them to play to get an extra meta gray out to go for a swing, or if I want to save it later to counter their big play when they actually do get on the board.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Next, we have the mandatory one of Ice Wall.
You are playing blue, so for sure.
Yep, pretty good. It helped me secure like probably one game that was pretty important.
Yeah.
Other than that, like there's always a threat in security. Everybody assumes if you're playing blue, you have it, and yeah, it's Ice Wall.
Yeah, it's Ice Wall, that's for sure.
Final 2 cards was Great Maelstrom.
Oh, nice. Why'd you choose to play Great Maelstrom?
So I think the core of Blue Flare is stunning, but sometimes stunning isn't good enough because leaving the guy on the field, it gets you screwed to passive effects like quoits and such.
Yep.
So you always want to have a way out of to get out of the quoits lock.
Yeah, that's very true. Honestly, whenever I'm playing against Blue Flare with my green decks, it's definitely always go to the quartz because then they're unable to do anything. A lot of times they'll set up, jamming security check +1, but if they're not able to unsuspend that, a lot of times I'm able to just to kind of grind through it. So seeing the Great Maelstrom, that's exactly what you want to see on curve into things like into Quartzmon, right? Because Quartzmon just locking down your tamers is actually the worst part because, like you said, having access to the graveyard for your cross is just really, really efficient for you. And Quartzmon, for example, is one of the cards that really turns that off. So I like that. I like that quite a bit for sure.
Yep, and then there's also a security bomb. I expected the meta to have like a good amount of OTKs,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of need something to have a chance to survive the OTKs and such. So the Great Maelstrom was always nice.
No, for
Uh,
sure.
Funny enough is you can put a Digimon one of your other Digimon put a Digimon under a Digimon from your side to reduce it down to 6.
Mm-hmm.
That actually mattered quite a bit to keep it my turn. If I was going to like one match, I had to keep it my turn by doing that, and that stacking the memory boost helped with that and
Yeah,
such.
yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Even more important is my last match. I was against a mirror, and he had stunned my Metal Gray, and I went to another Metal Gray to swing, and then it got locked on the boy because it survived.
Mm-hmm.
So I Great Maelstrom just to put one body, stick only one body on the boy so he couldn't double swing with Greymons.
Wow, that's actually that's crazy. That's so strong, and you got out of a body on his side of the board. So
Yeah, this is a crazy. I don't know. I feel like this card is just really good in the meta. Um, Other options like Sorai, I didn't really feel like Sorai was that good because there's no Royal Knights, and then um, Shine Gray isn't that prevalent.
definitely
So
no.
I just felt like Sorai wasn't that necessary.
For sure, especially because Ultimate Cups have a specific ban list, and that's the reason that these cards aren't super crazy, and that's why the deck is built like this. But honestly, yeah, no, it gets there. I really like the list so far for sure. What
Yep.
we'll
I was
do? Oh,
also
sorry.
yeah. I was also thinking about running Rattlestar, the old 5 cost option.
Yeah, for sure.
To it would have been like a lot more efficient to get rid of Bloomlord and such. But then against other decks, it wouldn't be that good because it wouldn't out the big level 6 OTK combo decks.
Yeah, yep, I feel you. Rattlestar is a good card, but you're completely right. Things like Bloomlord, when they obviously they're gonna spam the board, right? But if you're playing against Belphemon, per se, then it just does nothing. So No, for sure. Well, wrapping up the deck profile portion of the video there, really quick. If you guys have made it this far, don't forget to leave a like. Drop a sub if you're not sub. We're doing a big giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So, and leave a comment if you guys haven't left a comment. Leave any questions that you guys have or anything that you want me to check on with the deck, and I totally can. I can always reach back out. But let's talk a little bit about not just like your deck, but what was the meta kind of generally like looking at your matchups. What were you playing against a lot during the tournament?
I had a pretty wide spread, so we can run through my matchups really quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So first round was against Belphemon. It's pretty straightforward because I can just stun everything, even in the sleep mode,
Yep.
into rage mode. And then at the end, he had the last match, the last uh, round of the match. He had played Psychmon and he had locked me out, but he also locked himself out of his Gizus.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to be able to kill the Psychmon with the Gizmon, unless otherwise you're just gonna be locked out.
Yeah, he just didn't have the AT to pop it. And then so yeah, I
Unfortunate.
won from that. The second round was against Mill Lilith, and the first game, I wasn't so sure how to play around it, and he got me down to 17, but I was just too aggressive and able to stun out his Creepymon and Rune modes and such.
Mm-hmm.
Second game going into it, he had missed out on a good amount of his combo pieces like Alice, and one of his purple members didn't fish him anything, which was pretty rough.
That is pretty rough for sure. If you hit all all options with your purple memory boost, that feels so bad.
Yep, and then he had gone to Rune mode, but Rune mode doesn't uh, generally out the stop me from going into Metal Gray and putting jamming under.
Yep, cool. Yeah, you have to do room mode twice. You have to hit the minus 10k to stop that.
And then third round was against Orpheus. The first game was I thought I had it pretty locked, and I got all my combos set up, and everything was going well. But then I made a greedy play because I could have set him to 3, popping a memory boost, but I set him to 4 instead. And then he was able to check all my security, and he was only one tamer or one memory short from killing me.
Ooh, damn. That's actually super crazy, but that's the story of All Force, right? They just run out of steam a little bit too fast. I think that's the big thing. They always need like one more tamer or one more attack to be able to get the game.
Yeah, and then second game against him is also straightforward. He had accidentally swung under Ice Wall, and then it messed up his memory play.
Yep, yep, that'll happen too.
And then the fourth round was really really good. It was against Bloomlord.
Oh, nice. How was that?
So the first game, I didn't play around quoits. He had set up a good quoits into Greymon lock, and then I couldn't out the quoits, and I was just too memory. And if I didn't manage my memory well enough.
Yep. Okay.
Second game, I think he got a bit too confident going into quoits, so he just straight evolved all the way in the back to his level 6 Bloomlord, and all in
No,
raising, and then he moved up and evolved to quoits.
no, they can't do it like that. That's unfortunate.
It, yeah, and then I had the great Maelstrom to out it.
Perfect. Yeah,
And
yeah, that's a pretty punishing play. So good play.
and then the third game against him, he had gone to quoits again, but I had stockpiled like three blazings.
Yeah.
I stocked up 3 blazings, got 2 bodies on the board, got go ahead, great maelstrom, chucking another, and then I went to 3, and then I metal grade Z combo him down, and then he couldn't come back from that.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. Because, yeah, you just put them down so low on life right then and there, so they only have one turn to respond.
Let's see. And then the fifth round, I was against Mirage, and that's the one I actually lost at.
Oh, okay. What was that
So
matchup like?
the matchup is really, really weird. It's so going game one. I went for a really aggressive play, not knowing what his deck was. I turned one Metal Gray, and then but he just swung at it right afterwards, and then I couldn't. I played into having cards into my hand. I kept on just adding more cards with blazing, and then he just killed me really soon.
Yep.
really quick.
Yep. That'll happen.
Yeah, his deck was really interesting and really optimized. And I think he was really experienced playing against Blue Flare. And I just didn't know the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Second game, he had missed his level 3, and then I just went off of him off of that. Third game, I had kind of gotten used to the matchup. Just the way you're supposed to play against Mirage is that you're supposed to actually just keep on digicrossing and emptying out your hand.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. That's what I would imagine it to be for sure to keep you under that. You want to stay under like probably like close to 4, maybe under 4 if you can in hand.
Yeah, and then I had made a misplay early on. I brought out Decker, and I chose not to slot in another Decker under, and that cost me adding one card to my hand. And then he at the end of the game he pushed me to 9, and then he OTK'd me.
Yo. Damn. Damn. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah. Is this a weird train of thought? Because I thought maybe having multiple Deckers would be nice, but in practice he just kept on bouncing the Decker, so I never needed the extra Decker.
Yep. So you could just reuse the same one over. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and then yeah, the last round was against the mirror match.
Yep.
It just came down to security. His Gaussmons, they swung and then they hit my options and my tamers a bunch of times, and then mine swung and then they died.
So you got the. That's weird because you would think that you'd want the Gaussmons to die, but you actually want you want them to live, but you actually want them to die to get that immediate value.
Yep. And then when they live, that leaves a body on the board, which is really awkward to go for more aggressive plays. Then because then if you go for a metal gray, you just leave 2 on the board, and then the opposing blue flare can just clap back stronger.
Yep. And I'm assuming
So
that's
yeah,
kind of how you.
yeah, that's kind of how I came back from it. Went through it, but yeah, there's a bunch of it was kind of funny. We kind of swung, and sometimes I hit into his blazing. Sometimes most of the time he hit into my tamers. There was 3 of my dual tamers were in security in a row.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, and then to seal the deal, I did the Great Maelstrom play, so he couldn't go for multi swings.
Nice. Honestly, I really like that Great Maelstrom tech. It sounds like it was putting in work for you all day, so that's really nice. Wrapping up. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, I think one last thing, the Mirage matchup, uh, it gets really awkward once you get to Mirage because you actually you're kind of forced to draw by most of the effects, especially the egg. And when you swing with Gauss, you're usually like you get taxed either 1 memory or 2 memory or whatnot.
I got you. No, that totally makes sense. I was gonna say too, if you have any other notes that you want to make about the matchup, you can totally feel free if there's anything else you want to say.
I think if I ever wanted to switch out some cards to maybe make the open up the matchup a bit more, it would maybe be swapping out 2 Gaussmons for 2 Modoki Betas
Mm-hmm.
to to hopefully do a double Modoki Beta play to force him to bounce 1 and not gain the memory.
Oh wow, yeah, that's actually that's a pretty big brain play. But yeah, no, I can see where that would be like really effective. Do you think that Mirage was your worst matchup then?
Yeah, I think Mirage was my worst matchup. Mainly because I didn't know how to actually play against it, and I wasn't really expecting it that hard, seeing that I didn't really get that much placings in standard format.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time. I still think that that Mirage is a high tier blue deck, but people keep on saying otherwise. But no, I think that Mirage can keep performing. I honestly think that we'll see it all through the format. So I totally agree with you for sure. Looking at so if Mirage was kind of like one of your worst matchups, was there a matchup that you were really looking forward to that made you want to pilot this deck for Ultimate Cup, or what do you think your best matchup is?
Best matchup is definitely Belphemon because you just keep on locking the Belphemon down, and eventually they run out of resources to stop the attacks, and stun locking the Belphemon just locks the game.
No, I do like that. Yeah, makes a lot of sense for sure. And it's really hard for Belphemon to get the. They need to float another level 4, and they also need to have the Astamon to try to get out of any type of locks, even if it's no matter what kind of lock it is. That's how you usually try to get out of it, and it's not an easy setup to go for. So no, I can see this being very, very good into Belphemon. But you said you only saw it one time during the tournament.
Yeah, it was only the first round.
Ah,
I think people kind of. I expected for it to show a bit more, but I think people knew that Blue Flare was just gonna run it over.
yeah, exactly. And I think that Belphemon also has a very high ceiling, so it's pretty hard to learn and hard to like really get into. So I can totally see that. But cool, cool. I was gonna say, do you have any shoutouts or anything for the end of the deck profile here?
Uh, yeah. Shout out to the Mirage player. It was I think his name. I've seen his name before in other analyze analytical stuff about top decks,
Mm-hmm.
about like top eights and so. So when I saw his name, it's like, oh boy, this is getting actually real. But
No, for sure. Do you know?
yeah,
Did he was he able to place in the top cut as well?
yeah, he did. He got to third place,
Oh
I
wow.
believe. He went to the finals, and I'm pretty sure it was a Mirage Mirror, and that's what
Mm,
happened.
yep, I got you. I got you. Okay, nice. Well, congratulations, EJ. That was a fantastic run, especially because I know you signed up for the event like not too long before the event fired. So it was a pretty quick decision for you, and that for that being that quick of a decision, you went and performed really, really well. So congratulations to you from everybody who's on the Opus Gaming team, man, for real.
Yeah, I know it was a bit weird. I saw you guys playing in the regionals the days before. I was like, yeah, this was pretty good. Maybe there's an open spot in the regionals, and I looked. I was all sold out, and then I looked at Ultimate. Oh, there's still a ticket left. Might as well give it a shot.
No, honestly, and that's super fun. I really like the environment that we have when we're playing online events because it's all of us hanging out. We keep on top of each other. We hang out in Discord, talk about the matches and stuff like that. So you really get immersed in it. And it was really fun having you join us and come hang out with us too. So I'm glad you were able to go out compete and then top as well. I can't wait to continue to compete with you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, of course. But all right, you guys, this is me, Jamonster with Opus Gaming, and we're out. Take care, guys.